Hello everybody, it's Emily. Welcome to my channel, and I'm sitting next to my Christmas tree, which is extremely huge. So this thought has been going on my head for ages and ages, and I'm thinking, how can I tell people what I'm feeling about this whole COVID thing and about how much it's done to me and my mental health. But one in particular has really ruined it, really did ruin my chance of going far in life. And that was when it costed me my job that I absolutely loved going to. It brought back so many positive memories, and even though I had anxiety at some point, I never let it get to me. I would still enjoy myself. It was so, I'd always say to myself, do you know what, it's worth the panic attacks, I don't care anymore. And I felt like, do you know what, my anxieties were not a thing anymore when I was working there. It didn't even bother me anymore. And everyone was just so kind, everyone was so friendly. So I thought I'd talk to you guys about how COVID ruined my job that I loved and how badly it's affected me. So obviously, at the start, when I first got this job, this was back in 2019. So in August that year, that's when I left the job that I hated, which was in retail. Now, I left there because my anxiety was bad. Now, if you haven't seen the video where I talk about the time that I thought I had nose cancer, that was the biggest and horrifying experience my anxiety has ever experienced or even felt, because I seriously thought I was going to die. I wasn't going to make it through my birthday at the time. I wasn't going to make it through Christmas at the time. I really thought I was dying. And funny how 2 years later, I'm still alive and I'm very well. I'm healthy and stuff like that. And I think back on it now and I think, geez, I was in a really bad state at the time. So left that job, regretted it. And then I think it was back in November last year. And they said that they're looking for people to work in the theatre with them. Now, this was in my local theatre, just about a 15-minute walk or stuff. And my mom, said, maybe you can give that a try. But after that bad experience I had with working in retail, I was very scared, thinking I'm going to be treated like hell or like crap. I don't want to swear on this, so I'm trying to be careful. So I was like, nope, not going to do it. But then I thought, well, I need to get a job. So I thought, let's just give it a try and see what that they do. So I see them with my mom, and obviously, my mom tells them that I have anxiety, I have mental health issues. And I think that's when their attitude began to change. They said that, one person said, you can come and work with me if you like. And I accepted it. And I was like, okay, yeah, great. And I walked out thinking, they were horrible. I don't like them. They did not like me. They're going to treat me like hell. But my mum, being my mum, she felt very positive about it. She said, oh, they're not going to be like that. They were very nice people. And I'm like, no, they just do that because you were there. You wasn't there, so of course. But she kept saying, oh, it went so much better than I thought. But I was so against it. I was absolutely against it. And eventually, I managed to get in. I did, they said they'll give me an hour or something to work with them, obviously because of my mental health issues. So I went there for my first day. I wasn't there for long, and just to see how I feel, if I want to stay or if I want to go home. Yeah, they allowed me to do that. So my first day, all I did was just photocopying because I worked in the office bit. So yeah, and at the start I was like, okay, so far so good. And apparently the man said to my mom that we will take very good care of your daughter, including me. And which I didn't even know about until I came home. And on my first day I was like, yeah, this is not for me. I don't like it. But my mom said to me, just give it another try and maybe you'll feel differently about it, because the first days are always the worst days, but you go in the next day and it might be a bit better. But the past experiences I've had with work, like one day completely fine, but the second day, that's the worst days of your life. And believe me, I've experienced that quite a lot. So I was very terrified about what's going to happen when I go for my second day. But you know what? It turned out to be the best day of my life. Actually, it was unbelievable. So I did something different second time. I did a bit of laminating, never heard of it, but when I eventually did that, I thought, oh, this is quite exciting. And this shows how nice this lady was. She said to me, oh, look at that, it's the laminator expert. And I felt, oh my God, she gave me praise. That made me feel so good. I felt very happy. And I was like, I love this job. I love it very much. And you know what? This is the best thing that has ever happened to me. And believe it or not, I came home and I did something I never even did before. Because usually with work, I have journals actually. I have one where I'm feeling unhappy, scared or angry or depressed. But I also have this other book where I'm feeling so happy. It's called a happy book, I call it. And I write down if I've had an exciting day, or if something positive has happened, or if I did something amazing, I'd write it down. And I wrote down on that happy book my second day of work, which was the most surprising thing I ever did, because I have never written down in a happy book about my day at work. That has never happened to me before. So I wrote that down and I was just smiling away, writing it down, because I thought, this is amazing, absolutely fantastic. And so like the weeks went on and the better it got. And especially at Christmas time, when it was like coming up to Christmas time, it was even more exciting. Even though that, because I mean, now that I was there for a few weeks, the lady who I worked with, she said, I think you're ready now to do like the ushering, which is you stand at the front house of the theatre and you look at people's tickets, make sure they got receipts and everything. So I was very nervous to give that a go. And when she said that, you know, like I'm gonna try it, give it a try, I came out and I was very nervous. So, and I thought, oh my God, I have to do that. And I was like, oh God, I don't think I'm gonna do this. But I said to myself, no, hang on a minute, Ems. You've been to therapy during that time. You've had therapy. You've been to therapy. Why don't you just give it a try? And like, you know, think back to when therapy made you go back to dance. That was the biggest step of all. Now that you've done that, now it's time to take another big step in your life. So I thought, right, now that I've had therapy, I'm going to give it a try. And I'm not going to lie, it was the most scariest experience of my life, actually, because I mean, it's a pantomime and it was nearly Christmas. So you're going to see all parents with their kids. And what really frustrated me was that, because the theatre that I worked at was very small, and it was it's not like the London Palladium, it's not the O2 Arena, it's just a very small community theatre. And what frustrated me a lot was when the parents would let their kids bring in their scooters and they get into so much mischief, and most of the kids would like run away. And it always made, I think that's why I got such bad anxiety. I thought, well, obviously no, there was another reason. And yeah, so I was like, for God's sake, can't you control your flaming kids? Like, and that's what I wanted to like say to them. So it was really hard. And apparently, you know, like all those people walking up to me, looking at their tickets, looking at their receipts, I'm saying, yep, okay, you know, in you go. That's absolutely fine. I mean, that was very scary. I literally had anxiety and it was so bad that, but then eventually when that was done, it suddenly went, the panic attack suddenly went, and I felt all right. And I felt, oh, I feel good now. But then again, like the best thing about it was that when like I was doing the ushering, the lady I worked with and like some other girl, they did not stay in the office. They all helped out. Apparently everyone who was in the theatre, who like worked in the theatre, all helped out. And that was amazing. It made me feel so like blessed to like have a job that everyone works out. We all don't moan, we don't yell at each other, we just get on with it. And that was just fantastic to feel. And I remember another time I was going to do it again, but this time I was standing by the door and I was opening the door up, saying hello to all the kids because it was nearly Christmas. It was the same day as my mother's birthday. So I opened the door out and I was like, come on in, Merry Christmas. Like, that was like the best day of my life, actually. And this man, every time I would see him, he'd always dress up as something. The first time I met him, he was dressed up as a cowboy. The next time I saw him, he was dressed up as an electrician. Then he was dressed up as a painter, I think they're called. And another time he dressed up like he was going to a safari. And this time when I opened up the door, all the kids coming in, he came in like he was Hugh Jackman as the Greatest Showman. And he had so much energy, just a positivity, like opening the door up and going, hello, Merry Christmas and everything. And I finally felt that Christmas spirit was inside me. And I felt so happy. And I remember the lady I worked with, she asked, are you staying for the pantomime? And I had a little think about, I don't know what to do. Like, should I? Or it's my mum's birthday. I told her it was my mother's birthday. And this shows how amazing she was, actually. She was like, okay, do you want to pack your bags and go? And I was like, you're letting me go home early? Like 15 minutes early? And I was like, oh my God. And I remember, do you know, I'm getting a bit teared up now just talking about this. But I walked out of the theatre, and if you guys have seen one of the Christmas Carol movie versions where like Scrooge comes out on Christmas Day and he's so happy and he's like yelling, Merry Christmas, everybody. I felt like that. It was just incredible. I was smiling. I was walking home feeling very festive, and I just wanted to like wave at people and say, Merry Christmas. I'm like, hi, Merry Christmas, and just give people the happiness that they all deserve, as I did, because I felt like, I can finally feel free of my mental health and just live. But then, as we all know, back in March, COVID hit. So it's so sad because I've just gone through all this feeling so happy. Now COVID has ruined everything. So I remember just turning up one day and my boss was not there, and I waited for her and see what the hell was going on, and I managed to do a few bits and bobs, and they all started talking about COVID, and it was really worrying because I thought, oh my God, so it really is true then, like it's going to come here, it's coming here. And I was like, what on earth are we going to do? And apparently one time I was at home and I messaged her saying, am I still able to come in even though that there's COVID going around? And the boss said to me that there's nothing more we can do at the moment, but I will let you know when things will be all right again. And then that's when lockdown happened. And the problem was though, is that I even messaged back saying, whatever happens, I will come back, because it was the job that I loved so much and loved. And apparently with my anxieties, every time I did the ushering, the time before lockdown hit, I finally like realized why that was. And that was because like when you see all like these kids going around, you see like babies and everything, and it reminded me so much of my nephew Caleb, who was stillbirth. And he would be at that age now where I would take him to the theatre and he would have a really good time. And like what really got to me was that at that time, the last time this ever happened, I saw a bunch of two women. They had their babies with them in a buggy. And one asked, like, how is your baby developing? And the other one said, oh, he's crawling now. And that's when it really hit me. I thought, and I'm like standing there like right next to them thinking, you do know my sister had a stillbirth, so I can't do that with him. I can't see him crawl. I can't take him to the theatre. Do you know how upsetting that makes me feel? And like, this shows how amazing this job was. I mean, I even did a night shift there, and that was the best experience of my life. Absolutely fantastic. And I couldn't wait to do it again. And then when lockdown hit for like the first few weeks, I was like, right, as soon as like the theatres reopen, what on earth am I going to do? Like, should I tell this lady that about what happened and be honest with her? Or maybe I should just come up with a new strategy and help me cope better. But now that I know why I get panic attacks every time I do the ushering, now I need to know how to learn how to cope with it. But of course, lockdown went on and it went on. The theatres were still closed. Nothing was happening. Yeah, and it went on obviously until the theatres reopened like early this year. They had like live music and everything, and I still wasn't able to hear anything about what was going on. And a few months ago, this was back in July, when we was able to go to the theatre again, and I was so excited because I was like, oh my God, I can go back. Because I mean, during that time, I mean, my mom did bump into her quite a lot, and she did say that they do want me back, but there just hasn't been a right time yet. So it's really difficult, and I was like, oh my God, how much longer is this going to be and stuff. So back in July, I messaged her on my Facebook asking if I can come back. And, you know, because I even write down how much the theatre meant to me, how much I'm dying to go back. But still to this day, I've heard absolutely nothing. I even followed them on Instagram. They follow me. Obviously the theatre. I don't know if the people who does it or anything. And yeah, so that obviously happened, and apparently I still haven't heard anything, absolutely nothing. And I feel like now I've really come to terms with the fact they don't want me back, because I mean, I've been on their Instagram, I've been going through their website, seeing what's coming up, what is going to come up. Will I be able to do the ushering then, or would I be able to like put posters out or something? And over the weekend, believe it or not, guys, they had Harry Hill coming over to that theatre, and even a comedian, I've forgotten her name, but her first name was Zoe. I've forgotten what her last name was. But yeah, she was coming too. And that was like the last straw for me. And I thought, do you know what? They don't want me back. It's not fair. I'm like, do you know what? I'm done now. I'm absolutely done. So the other day, I unfollowed them. I unfollowed them on Instagram, and I disliked them on Facebook, because I feel like they don't want me back. I'll never experience like the excitement I had just walking around the theatre, putting the posters up, putting the leaflets out, and wonder who is going to come. Like, will Ben Hanlon come and do a magic show? Would I be able to meet him in person? I mean, that was like the main thing I wanted to happen. But then again, I think to myself, no, hang on a minute. I spoke to him on Instagram Live when we was in lockdown, our first national lockdown, and I spoke to him. I mean, yeah, that was something exciting. But I always have like these visions that I'm meeting him in person and we're having a conversation. And that was like a vision I had when I was a child, that when I grow up, I'm gonna like meet a celebrity and I'm gonna have a conversation with them. And I feel like, do you know what? If I still kept that job, if I still kept it, that would have been the childhood dream I would have finally had as an adult. Because I mean, that is exactly what, as a child, I was gonna think that was gonna happen as an adult. And I was so close to reaching that goal, but it never happened. And it really does annoy me, because I feel like, do you know what, maybe like I'm overreacting. I still have faith and I still have hope that it's going to happen. I'm going to get the message from my local theatre and they're going to want me back. But I feel like, no, they're not going to. I need to like come to terms with that. I'm not going to come back. But it's so hard because I mean, I've always been a very hopeful, very faithful person. And I keep thinking to myself, do you know what? You never thought you'd meet celebrities or even talk to them. I speak to Ben Hanlon. I speak to David Henry. So surely, what else could there be or something? So I don't know. But it just sucks because I feel like, do you know what? If COVID never hit or never existed, where would my life be now? Would I be like happy? Would something else go horribly wrong? I don't know, but I know deep down I would have been so much happier because I feel like, well, what's going on? Is my lady going through something personal? Because that's what I overheard. But they still won't tell me what happened. And I'm like, well, don't I have a right to know what happened or something? But, you know, even if it's something serious, I mean, surely I have a right to know. I tell people everything. So, yeah, I am like so devastated because I loved that job so much. And I was so ready to go back, do more hours and just enjoy myself, do more like night shifts and just have a really good time. Because last time I did that, I did the ushering. That was one time on a night shift and we did it with a charity for like adults with disabilities and with something wrong with their brain. So it was, but you know, that was like the best experience ever because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they were a little bit not stupid, I wouldn't say that as the right word, but not good. But I was so proud of how they're doing something like this. And I remember coming to work the next day, she asked me like, how did it go? And I told her it was the best thing that I've ever experienced. I thought, oh my God, it was brilliant. Loved it. And she was just so happy. But yeah, I still have these visions that I'm going to like post on my Facebook, maybe post on my Instagram, filming my reaction of my being told that I'm going to go back. But I still feel like it's never going to happen, is it? So yeah. So yeah, I feel really defeated by COVID because, you know, it really did cost me the job I loved. And I feel like if I was at a job I hated, I don't think I would have gone out of it or anything. So it just sucks though, because I mean, that theatre really did bring back so many memories. I mean, they were all positive. Definitely nothing negative about it. I mean, I remember going to my dance classes, doing a bit of ballet, running to my mom, begging her to hold me because I was very shy. That is what I remember. And another time when I was 13, I gave up dance just to go to this theatre club, and it was horrible. I did enjoy it time to time, but I just realised this was not for me. But coming back and like reliving that, I think that's why I enjoyed it so much, because I mean, I made peace with my 13-year-old self and just had a good time. So yeah, but I don't know if I'll ever go back. I mean, I might try a different local theatre, but I don't think that's going to work out either. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this story, and I'll see you guys real soon. Obviously for a very Christmas special of the most rarest and forgotten kids shows. I can't wait to show you guys it. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be something that you've never seen before. Definitely nothing. Even I've surprised myself with the effects I've learned from this app called CapCut. It's absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend you downloading it. It's amazing. Anyway, guys, can't believe I made it to like nearly 25 minutes. Bloody hell. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys soon for the Christmas due, and take care.